Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Happy Independence Day. It's the 4th of July. I'm a patriotic person. I even got my American Patriot t-shirt on. Let's talk a little bit about PTSD. Be careful shooting off all them fireworks in your neighborhood tonight, this afternoon. At least be aware of who your neighbors are. If you got a neighbor who's a veteran, maybe shoot that shit in a different direction. Maybe go over and knock on his door and see if he minds that you're going to be firing off a million billion different rounds of projectiles that sound like missiles and gunshots. I mean, that shit's real. People get triggered by that shit. People that don't have PTSD don't really understand what it's like to be triggered. I had a funny experience with it, and of course I'm a veteran of a different kind of war, the war on drugs. I was living down in the ghetto, the Barrio I should say. It's a Mexican mafia-controlled neighborhood in Santa Cruz, California called Beach Flats. There's two sides to the flats. They got the hooker side and the crack side. It's separated by the San Lorenzo River. I lived on the crack side. The crack side's the violent side. Seen car bombings, I've seen more shootings than I can imagine. I've watched friends die right in front of me. We were sitting around one night, me and my buddy, my roommate, in our apartment. It was late afternoon. We had just gotten our beer, so we had a couple cases of beer. We're sitting there pounding beer after beer, smoking joint after joint, just getting fucked up. Neither of us really had plans that night for the 4th. We were just going to kind of hang out in the neighborhood. We lived about a block and a half off of the boardwalk, the Santa Cruz Beach boardwalk. So they have fireworks there, and you know, you can just kind of step out on your front porch and check them out. But we're just sitting there chilling, watching TV, watching, you know, jamming to some music. Kind of usually have a lot of entertainment shit going on at one time. Zoning out. And all of a sudden, we both hear a loud explosion, shook the windows. And it sounded like a big gun. And this neighborhood was a wild neighborhood. I mean, there was a lot of activity, open air drug market, gang members everywhere. Everywhere. Some neighborhoods, you really only see the gang activity on certain corners. You only see it at night, not in the flats. The flats was all day long, 24 hours a day, open air drug market, gang members all over the place. On every corner, 15 on one corner, 20 on another corner, 30 on a corner down there. And they're everywhere. We heard that explosion and that shit shocked me. I was just like, whoa, what the fuck was that? We looked at each other and we're like, damn, somebody just got shot right outside. It must have been a 44 Magnum or who knows. And a shotgun or something with a slug in it. Who the fuck knows what that was? And then we heard a return fire. Boom, boom, boom. And we realized, uh-oh, something's going down. And it was just like a snowball going downhill. I mean, it just got more and more and more and more. We heard automatic fire, brrrah, 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 coming in these bursts. And then we heard from a block away, or what sounded like down the block, machine gun fire back in the other direction. Brrrr, brrrr, brrrr. This shit was echoing everywhere. Windows are shaking. And it just really starts going crazy. We hear just all kinds of shots. We both hit the deck. I mean, we're in the middle of a war. That is exactly what I thought, is that these fools outside finally went crazy. And this is either an attack by the enemy or the two gangs, because there was two different gangs in the neighborhood, both under the same umbrella, both ruled by the Mexican mafia, but they were technically two different gangs. And I figured out, well, these guys are going crazy. I mean, we're going to go to war with the next block over. We're on our bellies in the living room. The fucking shit's just going on. Bam, 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 bam. Just left and right. We were on a corner apartment, so I could hear explosions and gunshots out one side, and then I could hear what sounded like the return fire coming out the other side. Because our apartment was right on the corner near the basketball courts. Usually right outside my window, my bedroom window, which looked out to the basketball courts, there'd usually be about 15 guys posting up the block. Not really selling drugs, but just hanging out, watching shit, holding down the turf. Everybody had scattered. I crawled to the window on my stomach as these explosions and gunshots are going off. I crawled to the window and look out the window, look out our blinds, and try to catch a glimpse down each way and down the block. I see people running. Whole groups of people running. And explosions and gunshots. Boom, boom, boom! But the weird thing was they were running towards the fire. They were running towards the noise. They should have been running the other way. Something didn't smell right to me. I was just like, wait a minute. What the fuck's going on? I look at my homeboy and I was just like, I have to go outside and see what that is. And he was like, what are you, crazy? You ain't going out there. And I was like, no, I'm going to go peek my head out the front of the building and see what's going on. I got you. And he was just like, don't do it, man. Just wait for that shit to be over. I crawled on my stomach down the fucking hallway, out the front door of our apartment, down the hallway of the apartment, out to the entrance. I see kids running. Barefoot kids, young toddlers, teenagers, all running towards the sound of the gunshots. I was like, well, that ain't right. Kids should be in the house or run the other way. I stepped out into we had like it wasn't grass, it was more like dirt, a little dirt farm out front. I step out into it, onto the front stoop, but out on the sidewalk. I look down the block and I see fireworks a block and a half away at the boardwalk. It dawned on me right there, well, fuck, it's 4th of July. Of course there's fireworks. It's like getting to be evening time out and the sun's going down. This is the time the fireworks start. Oh, I mean, I was still in complete panic mode. I didn't know what to do. We're caught in the middle of a war. Should I go get my gun? Should I go hide in the goddamn bathroom? Lay down in the bathtub? It's just fireworks, man. I calmed down and I kind of forgot all about my homeboy inside. He's still freaking out. He's still thinking it's a war and I'm just standing out there enjoying the fireworks. And he finally comes creeping down the hallway like G.I. Joe, just like a ninja, pokes his head out of the front entrance and sees me standing there. And he's like, what the fuck? And I was like, I point. He comes out and he has a good laugh. We're sitting there laughing it up. We felt so stupid. But I realized right there that shit triggered it triggered me. I was in a war. For about 5 minutes or so, I was in a war. And it was scary. Life was over. I'm just plotting survival. That's all that mattered was, how are we going to get out of here? How are we going to survive this? Bullets are flying. We felt stupid. Just as we're standing there enjoying the fireworks and it's just getting a little bit more dark, but it was only about 2 or 3 minutes or so had gone by, 5 minutes maybe tops had gone by since we both stood out there and realized our folly, realized it was just 4th of July. We were calmed down. Right across the hall from us, our door opened and their door opened. You could practically reach across the hall, the apartment right across the hall from us, because it was a skinny hallway, was a bunch of Sureno gang members. And these guys were higher ups. They weren't block drug dealers. These guys were more shot callers. They were higher up. Whole apartment full of them. 4 or 5 guys lived in there. Real good friends of ours. But these guys were hardcore, and they come creeping down the hallway in a line, in a single file line, with guns. And I see the lead guy, this guy Lucio, and I was just like, I gave him a nod, and he looks at me because I'm standing out in the open. And he waves his guys back, and he comes walking out, and he's just like, where's it at? What direction? And I point to the boardwalk. And he looks up and sees the fireworks, and he has the same realization as me and my homeboy, me and my roommate. I mean, they went through the exact same thing. And I told him, I was just like, man, we were in there on our bellies not knowing what to do. And he was like, me too. We were all that way. It's like I got more people in there. They're hiding in the bathroom, hiding in the closet to get away from the shots. We were all freaked out. Okay, everybody came out front. We had a real good laugh about the whole thing and felt stupid. And we're just thankful that all it was Independence Day. It was a party, not a war. And it was all funny. But I remembered that, you know, I'm broken. What's wrong with me? We're a little bit of fireworks. I used to love the 4th of July. What's wrong with me? And now I hear that shit. And I get snapped into this battle mode. I realized right there that I had to start plotting and scheming on how to get out of this neighborhood, how to get out of this lifestyle, how to reclaim my mind so I'm not so triggered by this shit no more. I don't want to be triggered by explosions. I want to enjoy fireworks. I don't want to be like a dog hiding under the coffee table, running to go get my gun, come running out front. I could have run out front. I had a house full of guns. I could have come running out front, AK in the hand, ready to blast off on anything that moves. I was just glad that I was able to see the fireworks and see the children running and snapped out of my triggered mode. If you have triggers like that, you got to do what you can to take control of your life. 4th of July is going to come every year. Thanks for watching.